With Warzone 2.0 being dropped on the 16th, I have given myself 5 days to test every weapon in Warzone 2.0 and mazrah. Coming out, I have found the 5 best weapons you should be using in Warzone. Based on these rankings, I have used range, recoil, and rounds, and I think that's the best way to look at it. These weapons has definitely helped me get high placement games and high kill games, and I think the highest kill game I have currently is about 20. Going forward, I will give you all the attachments and the best tuning for each weapon. Let's get into it. At number 5, I have the RPK LMG, and this LMG has blown me away compared to all the other LMGs. The RAP H is close, but I feel like the RPK is a lot better for certain reasons. It has the best range, really easy recoil, and I believe the damage of it is just so much better than the RAP H. With it, I have it built primarily to handle all the recoil, and let's go ahead and jump into the tuning for you. With the muzzle, I have the TY LR8, mainly aiming for the recoil stabilization and gun kick control. Keeping that, it makes it so much easier to control the recoil. Coming down into the underbarrel, I have the Commando foregrip, which easily makes the stability for recoil so much better, going towards recoil stabilization and aiming idle stability. Keeping your crosshair on your target is a very big thing in the game, and having that ability, it just makes it a lot easier. Your sight is up to preference. You can have it tuned whichever way you like. I personally have it for aim down sight speed, but on this one I just have it plain 0-0, no touching. Going to the stock, I have the FTAC Elite, and with it I have it for aim down sight speed, and on the bottom one I have it at 0. None of those things really help you as much. If you really did want to tune it at all, you will go towards aiming idle stability, just to keep your crosshair still while aiming down sights. Last but not least, the rear grip, I have the Demo X2 grip, and this thing is pretty solid for a rear grip. With it, I have it more towards recoil steadiness and sprint to fire speed, since LMGs are very slow, and this kind of makes it a little bit easier for you, giving you that additional recoil control, and it just makes that gun that much better for you. So with it, it makes that recoil way too easy, gives you all the range you need, and this thing can just lay fire into a group of 4 with no issue at all. At number 4, I have the Vaknev 9K. And this SMG is way too good for what it is. It has multiple versatility. You can have it built for range, you can have it built for close quarters. I personally use it for close quarters since I found the most benefit with it. With it, I do have the blueprint of Phantom's Call, which makes it very simple, very fast to use, fast sprint to fire, and it's the best building clearer I have. With it, you can see the attachments on screen. I have the EXF Huntress 90, the Bruin Warrior grip, 45 round mag, the FTAC green light laser, and then followed with the stockless attachment. The recoil of it is quite absurd when using iron sights. However, this gun is primarily built to only be used with hip fire. The recoil of it's not too shabby to handle if you do plan on aiming down sights, but when you get to the hip fire part, just keeping it there is the biggest importance. It's like the MP5 from Modern Warfare 2019 stockless. It's perfect, and it's going to be one of your best building clearers in the game. At number 3, I have the Signal 50, and this sniper rifle just continues to blow me away. With it putting out just as much damage as most bolt action rifles, this one can even have a follow-up shot hit your target and get that down at 300 plus meters with no issue at all. Sniper rifle has blown me away, the damage of it's good, and the rate of fire of it is just better and completely outperforms every sniper in that category. With it, I have it tuned properly for range, and again, that damage range with bullet velocity, so it's a lot less work to lead your shots. And let me go ahead and go through the tuning. With it, for the Nil Sound 90 silencer, is going to be your muzzle attachment. You're going to have that for recoil smoothness and bullet velocity. It's going to make it that much better and keep you on your target. For the barrel, I have the 29 TV Kilo 50, and that's going to be recoil steadiness and damage range, and that thing is just going to reach and smack anything out there 200 meters plus without an issue at all. With the rounds, I have the 50 cal armor piercing rounds. This thing goes through it, and it just makes it that much better for you. I have it for damage range and velocity, and this thing hits like a bus. It's unstoppable. It's better than the frangible rounds that stops you from sprinting. I personally like it in Warzone since it goes through the armor plates and gives you that potential one-shot knock when it hits the upper torso, shoulders, and up. Coming down to the magazine, 7 rounds. You need that extra shot. You could definitely wipe out a team of 3. It might be a little difficult for 4, but I like to have that extra 2 rounds in case I miss one of my shots. And then the scope, up to preference. I personally like to test with a lot of different ones. I personally found the MCPR 300 scope to be one of the better ones. The scope is nice, clean reticle, and it makes it easier to stay on your target with a clear picture in mind. This sniper definitely takes number 3, and there's no issue about it. At number 2, I have the TAC 56, and there's a lot of reasons as to why. This AR being on ground floor and giving you that ability to get those quick kills with it is just insane to have in your kit. Granted, with it being ground floor, it gives you a lot more ability to test the gun itself with the weird attachments that they do. This AR is just superior, short to mid range, and it does it all that you need. With it, I've primarily built for more recoil and sprint to fire. And let's go ahead and get into it real quick. For the muzzle, I have the X10 Havoc 90 and tuned for recoil stabilization and gun kick control. Easier recoil for those mid-range fights. The grip is the Commando 4 grip. Once again, recoil stabilization, nothing on the bottom. Smoother recoil, easier to keep it on target for you. For the laser, I have the FSS OLEV laser, which this itself helps you to aim down sight speed, stability, and sprint to fire. Sure, your laser shows, but that's not going to hurt you at all when your target is dead. It's going to help you so much with it, and it's going to be one of the bigger sticklers for it. The stock, I had the TV Cardinal stock, and you can have this for aim down sight speed and walking speed since it's going to be more of a close mid range. And this thing is just fantastic to have with it. Gets you down sights quicker, allows you to do all those jump around those corners and hip fire from it. Definitely one of the better stocks to have. And personally, I'm not too sure with the 4th attachment. I personally like to go with a different ammunition, like give or take the frangible, which definitely delays a lot of the healing, which allows you to give more time to push and take out your target quicker. For that tuning, I would typically go more towards recoil smoothness and steadiness, so you can stay on target at those distances while still having a good bit more damage and versatility in your kit. Definitely has to take number 2. This assault rifle is beautiful, and on top of that, they have a really cool skin for it, so that's another kicker for me. But this AR, even without the skin, has definitely far succeeded in a lot of those gunfights for me. Last but not least, number 1, the best gun in Warzone 2.0 running around Al-Mazrah is going to be the Kastov 545. This assault rifle is everything in one gun. From range, it has it. For recoil, it has it. For anything, this gun can do it. You could have it built multiple ways, but this is the kit you need for those high kill games, because this is the new Growl or the Amex from 2019. With the muzzle, I have the Seiken Tread 40, tuned for recoil stabilization and gun kick control. The grip, Commando 4 grip, for recoil stabilization and stability. The barrel is going to be the IGK30 with recoil steadiness and range. With the sight, I use the VLK. Obviously, you can get away with the Crowan, but the VLK is just so much better in every purpose possible. You can have that tuned however you please. I have it blank. And with the magazine, I have 60 round, and that's enough rounds to tackle at least 8 people all by yourself, no issue. This AR has legitimately beaten submachine guns close quarters. This AR has beaten DMRs at long range. This AR trumped all the other guns in any category just due to the sole fact of the recoil and the damage output that you can have with this weapon. Definitely has to be the bread and butter of Warzone 2.0. I've used it. I've beam sown 150 meters out with no issue, and the recoil is basically none. You need this in your kit. If you don't have it, you will be outgunned and you'll be frustrated wondering why you can't win. This is your answer. What do you guys think about the best weapons? What do you personally think is the best weapon by leaving a comment down below? In the meantime, we're going to have another video coming out in 2 weeks, more about Call of Duty Warzone 2.0. Leave a like. We're going to aim for 10 likes on this video. I know we're aiming for the stars here. And don't you worry, I'll see you guys in Al Mazrah. See you in 2 weeks.